What is up, Don Mafia? Yo, is this lighting like too natural? Should I throw this guy on? Or yeah, I don't know. Guys, what up? As promised, like I told you, I decided that from here on out, I'm going to start live streaming exactly at 6 p.m. Right on Eastern Standard Time from here on out, just to discuss Bills shit, just to sort of talk about you guys. What's up, Totally Random? What's up, Goat James? Hacks, what's good? Yo, by the way, I'm like always curious, like where everyone is from. Are y'all like from Buffalo or from elsewhere? I'm just like sort of curious where everyone's from. Drafted running back in round 2. Hacks, dude. You're just jumping right into business. I love it. Okay, Buffalo. Awesome. It's like Eli. Hacks, Canada. Cool, dude. Delaware. So, Brennan, what made you a Bills fan? Rochester, California. Yo, Art. What's it like out there, dude? I have some homies that are out in San Francisco and LA, and they tell me that it's like absolute lockdown. UK. Wow. That's dope, dude. That's dope. It's funny you say that because I can almost guarantee you that y'all are going to have the Jaguars as your hometown. Well, like right in London, at least. I have like a really good feeling that the Jags are going to be over there, or maybe even the Buccaneers once the Brady thing sort of ends. Columbia, South Carolina. Kevin, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. I live in right outside of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, actually. So we are neighbors. Florida. I grew up in Rochester, currently live in Iowa. Austin, Texas. I love Austin. I absolutely love it. Absolutely. West Columbia, cool. We wouldn't give Brady a visa. Oh man, I think that the AFC East and the Bills would fund his visa and every single possible charge that would come in to get him out. But I mean, one thing I will say is that I'm absolutely pumped that he's out of the division. I know that like there was a bunch of fans that were trying to say, oh, like, oh man, like I like really wish that we could have beat Brady. Like, nah, fuck that, dude. I'm glad he's gone. It's about time for us to start laying an ass whooping on some of these teams moving forward. It's absolutely awesome. Lackawanna, have a bunch of family there. Dewan, have a bunch of family there. Buffalo. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make this a regular occurrence on my channel here. I figured that we ended up having a couple of free agency signings yesterday. Nothing too exciting. I know, another Carolina Panther, right? But I figured that what we should do today is that I would love to open the floor to just like random questions. Like, let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. I know that the draft's coming up. I know that there's still some potential moves that like we should be making moving forward. So there could be some stuff that we could do. So I'm just like really trying to get some questions out of you guys, and let's just have a conversation. Let's have a virtual happy hour, baby. In fact, say that you're of age and you have some booze. Please go grab one right damn now. Crack one with your boy, and let's talk some football. Totally random. Yo, yeah. He actually made a video about me. I want to say a couple of days ago, he reached out to me on Twitter. He was asking for advice on how to grow a YouTube channel. And super cool, dude. I really appreciate what you did. Just keep grinding. You keep making those videos, and I promise you eventually you'll get that audience, dude. I promise you. Just keep grinding each and every single damn day, and you'll get it. Erie County. Okay. You're being a little more discreet. I like that. Dan, how do you feel about the Stefon Diggs trade? Dude, I am so thrilled about it. Absolutely so thrilled about it. I know that a lot of people were skeptical about the fact that we had to give away a first-round pick. But like I've said, time in and time and out, is the fact that you need to look at it like we drafted Stefon Diggs at 22. Because largely when it comes to the NFL draft, it's largely a gamble. And I mean, with how deep and how talented that this draft is specifically within the wide receiver room, I was not upset about giving away a first round pick at all for for Diggs. I really think that he's going to be a way better option. Is going to be a way better option than who we could have picked up in the draft at 22 for sure. Because I mean, like you look at it like this way, like there's absolutely no way that Judy would have been available. Ruggs wouldn't have been available. I mean, let's just put it that way. And plus, like those two, like while they're like there's so much hype surrounding them right now, like we don't fucking know how they're gonna do in the NFL. For all we know, they can end up like a Sammy Watkins and just be hurt, like 70% of the time. So getting a lot of questions here, boys. Newton would be great for Allen. See, I disagree with that. I definitely disagree with that. I know that not everyone's going to agree with me on this aspect, but there's two reasons why a backup quarterback like Cam Newton and Winston wouldn't make sense. Number one, these two quarterbacks were talking about getting paid close to like $50 million within like a 2-year contract, blah, blah, blah. That's not going away. It does not make financial sense to pay a backup quarterback more than your starting quarterback. And then number two, bringing in a guy like that, like Newton or Jameis Winston, who still have like the urge to start for an NFL team, whether or not that they will, it would completely fuck up his confidence, like hands down. And I do not want quarterbacks like that whatsoever. One backup quarterback that I actually would find interesting, and let me know what you think about it, Matt Moore. He was on the Dolphins for a while. He backed up Patrick Mahomes last year, 36 years old. He's clearly not looking to start anymore. I think that he would be a tremendous backup quarterback, an upgrade from Barkley. But at the end of the day, let's just cross our fingers that Allen just is completely healthy throughout all 16 games next year into the playoffs. You think Buffalo should draft the wide receiver out of Arizona State? That's Brandon Ayuk, right? I think so. I mean, say that he's there the 3rd or 4th round. Yeah. I'm like a huge advocate of either signing an Akers. He was the running back out of Florida State, I want to say. I could be wrong, but I'm like really high on him. Like watched his highlights the other day. Or the running back from LSU. I think that our running back is probably a secondary running back is by far our biggest need that the Buffalo Bills have. And honestly, like we really don't even we really don't have needs at this point. We just need upgrades in certain depth positions. So, and honestly, that's a great feeling. I'm not sure about you guys. Which team do you believe so far is positioned to do the worst this season? You mean out of the AFC East? Out of the AFC East, the Jets, for sure. Like that organization is an absolute dumpster fire. I saw that they finally started addressing their offensive line, but I think the Jets are just going to be in the basement this year. I think the Pats are going to finish in 3rd, and then I think the Dolphins are going to finish in 2nd. But just because I say the Dolphins are going to finish in 2nd, don't think that I'm thinking that they are going to have a record like barely over 800. Like 500, excuse me. I could see them going 8-8 or 9-7 and getting in 2nd place. Like that's how weak I feel like the AFC East is about to be in 2020 at least. Does Micah Hyde, Matt Milano, and Trey White get extensions? Matt Milano and Trey White, I desperately want them to get an extension. I'm not sure if Brandon Beane is going to do it this year, at least all 3 of them. Say that it had to be done. Trey is entering his, I think, 2nd to last or last year on his rookie deal. So I think Matt Milano would be more of a priority at this point because we already have the rights to Trey White. I think all of them deserve an extension, more so Milano and Trey because they're a bit younger than Micah Hyde. He's getting up there in age. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of the two, Matt Milano or Trey White, gets an extension this year. But both of them definitely deserve it, but it's just a matter of when because we dropped some money, and it goes to show you how fast, $90 million in cap space can sort of burn a hole through your wallet. Let me see what else. Oh, is that hashtag sports is in there? Williams is a solid addition and Gaines, then healthy, can compete with yeah, dude, 110%. I totally agree with you on that aspect. It's funny because EJ Gaines came in, right? And this is his 3rd stint with the Bills at this point. It was funny because I think it was like a last live stream, or maybe it was the live stream that I did with hashtag sports a couple of days ago. We were talking about the fact that since we got rid of Johnson, or since we let Johnson walk, really right now, like the 2 cornerbacks that you think of that are Norman and then Levi Wallace, who at the end of the day, they are better in zone, but we lost our like strong man coverage guys. So I'm interested to see if EJ could sort of fit that mold, but I wouldn't be surprised. Heisenberg White, yo, homie, thank you so much for the donation. Means a lot. Hey, Dan, big fan. Bills Mafia, baby. Wanted to know which team you think will finish with the worst record this year. You're talking about the entire NFL or the AFC East? The AFC East, definitely the Jets, hands down. They're fucking terrible. I live by that. And then as far as the NFL, that's going to be a tough one. That's definitely going to be a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets finish at like the bottom of the NFL, to be honest with you. That's like really how bad. I think that the Redskins are going to have a super shitty year again. I think that they have no idea what's going on. I know that they ended up getting Ron Rivera. That might be at least a little bit of an upgrade, but he's about to be completely cleaning house and starting from scratch. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Skins have an absolutely garbage year this year, but we'll see. Cam is hot garbage. I wouldn't say that. I just don't want him on the Bills. Hey, bro. What up, Matt, man? I prefer Barkley over Moore. That's interesting. You know, like, I mean, maybe I'm just still have like that bad taste in my mouth where he took over for Allen in week 4 against the Pats. Realistically, at the end of the day, I don't think that a backup quarterback is absolutely fucking necessary, but I mean, I wouldn't mind for a backup. I think that Matt Moore, I'd feel a little better, like right about Matt Moore going in than somebody else. But we'll see. Don't sleep on Cam. Give me AJ Dillon. Interesting. Nathan Peterman is the beat. I know you're joking. Hi, dude. My dude. Again with the fire donation, my man. You have any weigh in on the stadium debate? Where would you put a new stadium? I just love it being in Orchard Park, man. I really do. Like, I don't need some like fancy ass stadium on the waterway. Like, I just love the culture that Orchard Park has always had. I mean, the Hammer Lodge, like the tailgate scene. Like, I know that there's so much conversation about like, oh, like let's move this down like downtown. I have a feeling that just like the tailgating aspect of it would never be the same. I feel like the culture around the stadium wouldn't be the same. I think traffic would be fucking terrible. I think parking would be terrible. I've heard people think about putting it in Niagara Falls. That would be interesting, but I would personally be fine with just like starting to build the new stadium like right next to New Era, and then once it's complete, just tear it down. Like I would absolutely love to see that happen. I also wouldn't be against just putting like a shit ton of money into the stadium moving forward with it as well. So we'll see. Hashtag sports, crack a few beers. Yo, Mario, thank you for being the bad influence that a friend should be. Thank you, buddy. Dude, I'm doing good, man. Just living the dream, up in this quarantine. Jeff, what's up, man? Yeah, Daniel, exactly. Like downtown does not have the infrastructure, and like just like the entire thing would be like whatever. Like I wouldn't be opposed to a dome, to be honest with you. Like I wouldn't be opposed if like we built a new stadium in Orchard Park and it had a dome. I really wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, like I know that a lot of us always try to convince ourselves that we love like those games where it's like 15 degrees and it's like blizzarding outside, but those are never fun to be at. So I would be okay. I would be okay to kind of just low-key chill. What are your thoughts on resigning EJ Gaines? I think it's a depth move, man. I think that we're going to address the cornerback issue either in the second or third round of the draft. Don't be surprised if you see EJ get cut like before training camp or something like that, or like once it concludes. It's like was really like a system fit, because one thing you need to understand is that with this whole virus shit going around, there's a possibility that like training camps and stuff like that like may get delayed, or like you're not going to see the off season or the OTAs that normally happen during this time. So what I think Brandon Beane and McDermott are doing is that now they're sort of structuring their free agent pickups off of scheme fit, people that are already familiar with them personally, or they have been in a system that is similar to what the Buffalo Bills do. Hence why I think they ended up picking sort of an EJ Gaines rather than maybe like a larger name that was out there. So I think that they're doing amazing. What's the best way to get a hold of me? Best way, hands down, to get a hold of me is my Twitter. It's at Real Dan Mitchell. I have an Instagram too. Same handle. I mean, like I like put clips of my videos up there. Like really, it's just sort of like pictures of my life and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can follow me there as well. But the best is definitely Twitter. By the way, Heisenberg, dude, thank you for throwing money at me today, dude. I really appreciate that. That's like your third donation. You're a boss. Is getting an RB2 our biggest need? I would have to say so, I think. I mean, losing Frank Gore, not that he was like wildly productive toward the second half of the season. I mean, as soon as when he broke that record, it sort of looked like his production sort of went downhill. And plus his utilization, we like didn't use him after he really broke that record itself. I'm not seeing TJ Yeldon being the guy. I'm sorry for everyone that loves Christian Wade, but I'm just not seeing a guy that's only been playing like organized football for a year and like maybe has like 1 or 2 preseason games under his belt being the second guy. It's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. So I am a huge advocate of going for Carlos Hyde or Lamar Miller. Hyde and Miller were both on the Texans roster last year. Miller was hurt all of 2019, and Carlos Hyde probably had the most quietest 1,000-yard season that you could ever see coming from a running back. I would absolutely love to see a Carlos Hyde because, one, he's quietly productive, and then number 2, Devin Singletary is still very young, and he's going to miss like that leadership role that was in like sort of having that age. With a guy like Carlos Hyde, who's 29, I think he's almost 30, I think that he would be a nice little addition. And then whether or not that we want to pick up like a rookie or something like that in the second or the third, big fan of Akers, or maybe even J.K. Dobbins. Brett, definitely a solid suggestion. Then I am fine with that, but don't be surprised if you see within the next couple of days Carlos Hyde or Lamar Miller signing with the Bills. What do you think Bean will do with our draft? Do you think he will trade to get back into the first round? Me, #sports, and then Joe from Believers Talk, we were talking about this on our live stream a couple of days ago. I just don't see them having the capital for it, man. I really don't. I just don't see them having the capital for this entire situation. It's in order for us to be able to like trade up and get back into the first, we would probably need to offer up a player, to be honest with you, like somebody that's currently on our roster. And realistically, like I was telling you, there's really not a need for us to go back into the first because like I was saying, before this offseason even started, we would consistently say like, yo, like these are the Bills' needs, right? Like we need an edge rusher, we need a receiver, we need this, we need that. I mean, we largely addressed a lot of that in free agency. So now it's just a matter of upgrades. So don't be surprised if we stick where we're at and we just take best player available. Although I am hoping that we go with either a cornerback or a running back during the second round. Dan, do you think because of the quarantine that teams are going with players they know that they can play? Yeah, dude, Mario, 110%, like easily. Like we were talking about this the other night. It's like you need to like go after somebody that knows your system. Like perfect example was that offensive lineman that we signed yesterday. Like Twitter was just going off. It's like, oh, damn, fucking Buffalo Panthers. The Bills of the South are back at it again. Like that's not the thought process that you need to be going for. Number one, several teams do that. When new coaches go into a new system, they like to bring guys that they like that are free agents. It just makes sense because they're used to their system and they can apply. Because of this quarantine and because of the world that we're currently living in right now, that's exactly what Bean is doing. Like, I mean, he's trying to make very smart pickups of people that can really like know his system fast and like really not need a full length of an OTA to find out. So I think it's a smart move. Darrell Williams. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he really can. He really can. With Darrell Williams, the problem with his, like, I mean, like there were several articles giving him a bunch of shit about him letting up an astronomical amount of sacks last year. The problem is that he's a tackle. Like, he's not a guard. And, like, he started, I think, like 6 games at tackle where he played very well, but then they moved him over to guard. Right guard, I believe, got fucking stampeded, destroyed. And then they moved him over to, like, left guard. Like, he's not a guard. So I think that this would be super interesting. I think that this might be our opportunity to be able to move forward over to guard and then use this guy, sort of experiment, see if it works out. Because I know a lot of us have been talking about this because Ford really isn't that talented of a tackle. I think he would thrive in the guard position, but I don't know. We'll see. I like that pick, surprisingly. Biggest name that many Bills fans were looking for signed with other teams, especially with rumors when the Bills were in talks with Melvin Gordon, Todd Gurley, didn't really hype me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I would have been fucking super hyped if we ended up signing either of them just because of the name recognition alone. But I'm low-key glad. I'm like low-key glad that we didn't. I mean, just look at the amount of money that both of them are like really going into. Like, those of you that really want to extend Milano or Trey, like, say that we were to sign somebody like that, like, while we would have had, you know, probably one of the most explosive offenses right in the entire NFL. I just don't think that it would have made sense financially to go after it. There was rumors that I believe we contacted Melvin Gordon's agent, that Adam Schefter said that it was false. Who knows what the fuck happened there? But, I mean, it sucks they didn't come, but at the end of the day, I trust Bean, and I'm still super high on like a Lamar Miller or Carlos Hyde. If they pick up a Hyde or Miller, do you skip running back and let Wade try to make the roster? Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm like a big fan of Christian Wade. I love his story. He's good, but I just really don't think that. He's going to be starting for an NFL roster, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I love his story. He's awesome. He played rugby. That's great. But I mean, he's been playing football for like a year, dude. And like, I mean, he's really only been practicing. Would I be pumped for him? Say that he did make the team? Yes. Would I expect him to be like a backup or like an RB2 to Devin Singletary? Nah. No, I wouldn't. The COVID-19 will mean no OTAs, perhaps limited training camp, even preseason. Teams with a large continuity carry over. Yeah, dude. Daniel, 110%. Instead of drafting a running back, let's send a 5th and next year's 5th to Browns for Kareem Hunt. That was interesting. I actually ended up making a video about like free agents that I would absolutely love to target, specifically running backs. And then I talked about Kareem Hunt. I'm not sure if they would go for it. I think they really like their two-headed monster in the backfield. And don't call me a Nostradamus or anything like that, but I have a feeling that the Browns are going to have a bounce back. They're going to have a bounce back year this year. So I think that they're going to solidify the team, but I would definitely welcome that trade for sure. I would definitely welcome that trade. If you remember the rumors of AB last year to the Bills that got a call from Gettleman about OBJ, rumors as crazy as they are open doors. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It was funny too, because I was like, I mean, some player or something like that, like some player on the Pats or some old player, some of that, like tweeted like, since when do players not want to come to New England? That was the funniest shit that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, New England's going to be so bad this year. And I've been waiting my entire life to just like laugh at my buddy's face that loves the New England Patriots. And I absolutely can't, like, no one wants to go play there anymore because they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. It's going to be hysterical watching how shitty they are next year. And I can't wait. We have enough culture guys. That talent and how young he is too good to pass up. And the Browns need to pick and save money. Yeah, they do. I mean, trust me, dude. Like, I like, honestly, like, I'm fine with having a good culture, but sometimes you just need a playmaker in there. Like, sometimes you just need a playmaker. And then he definitely would be one. So Christian Wade is a sleeper, guaranteed he is going to get 1,000 or 700 rushing season. Dude, like I said, I welcome him, man. Like, I always want to be proven wrong. I really do. I always want to be proven wrong. So say that he does, and yeah, for sure. By the way, White Zombie, fucking fantastic beer. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of it before. It's like sex in your mouth, for real. We aren't getting Kareem. He's a prima donna. I mean, I mean, I really don't care about that. I mean, like, look at Stefon Diggs. I mean, he's pretty outspoken, but I mean, you can't deny the talent. You know what I mean? You really can't deny the talent, and sometimes you just need to make it happen. I bet your buddy wasn't a New England fan before TB12. Probably not. I mean, he was born in Foxborough, but I mean, the majority of my friends that are Pats fans were not born in Mass, and they were just a bunch of front runners. It's funny because one actually ended up buying a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey like 2 days after. So, fucking front runners, dude. I know, right? Where would you rank us as a team in the AFC? I mean, like a really early prediction right now, like not considering the draft and looking at some of the other teams that we are in the playoffs next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we were the second or third seed. I'm going to say it, second or third seed, man. I really do. I mean, I just love the fact that we're basically getting our entire defense back. I mean, you know, obviously minus Lawson and obviously minus Jordan Phillips. But I mean, we filled in the pieces where I think that we're not going to see much of a difference, or we may even see an improvement from last year. And then obviously we've made crazy moves on offense. We still have the draft coming up. I could really see us being third seed in the playoffs, like top 3, top 5 team. Like, you got to worry about the Chiefs. They're, you know, I mean, obviously they're the defending champs. And then the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to have a bounce back year as well. As long as Lamar can actually win a playoff game. Third time's a charm. But we'll see. We'll see what's good there. In your opinion of the teams that are favored to relocate, which one do you expect to move next? Yikes. I have a bunch of friends in Jacksonville, man. And besides that 1 year where they were good, like, they tell me that like games like never sell out. Like, their stadium was so bad at some point that they would like put tarps right over like some of the upper deck and like some of the nosebleeds because they didn't want to make it look that bad. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess that the Jags will move to London. Granted, I'm pretty sure that their lease runs up until like late 2020s, like 2028, 2029. Say that I was a gambling man, I'm seeing the Jags move to London, which would be interesting too. I like really wonder if the popularity of that market would translate, because most of my friends that are from England, that are from the UK, they're from Ireland and stuff like that, like they are not amused by American football whatsoever. Like, they're all about soccer. So I'm very interested, but I would totally see the Jags going, if anywhere. No more free agents. Let's work on the draft picks and keeping our own guys. Yeah, dude, honestly, I'm fine with that. Like, I mean, I honestly was surprised that we extended Poyer way before we extended either Milano or Trey White. I mean, like, Milano, he's on his last year right now, his last year of his contract. So I thought specifically that maybe we should have like focused on like getting a deal with him. Trey, we still have a little bit of time with, but I mean, like, extending Poyer first was interesting to me. I definitely would have extended Milano first, and then Trey, and then maybe like try and find a deal for Poyer at the end of the year. But I mean, for all we know, maybe he was threatening a holdout, which would have sucked. But yeah, Kansas City, Baltimore, tough. Yeah, they are. They are, man. Like, they're definitely not going away. But I mean, we'll see. Do we trade for Kareem Hunt with his attitude problems, or do we save our cap and draft Kadarius Toney? Is a monster. I mean, honestly, dude, like, I really wouldn't see what would make a lot of sense to trade for a running back at this point. I mean, like I said, not unless we like sign like a free agent, Lamar Miller or Carlos Hyde, then we're gonna go to the draft, man. And then, while believe it or not, I haven't heard of that guy. I have not heard of Kadarius Toney. I've heard a shit ton about this guy named Akers. I've heard a shit ton about him. So I wouldn't mind picking up a name like that, or maybe even the guy from LSU. But as far as like trading and like trading away capital and stuff like that, like, we all know that Brandon Beane, man, he is super stingy with his picks. I was surprised that he ended up taking a first in the first place. So we'll go. Scott Blakely, not first seed. Oh man, dude, you're making me feel bad. Um, we have a pretty tough schedule, man. We have a pretty tough schedule. I mean, definitely playing the NFC West is not going to be fun, and then playing the AFC West is not going to be fun. We're still going to win the division because the rest of our division opponents are playing a similar schedule to us at that point. But I don't know. I mean, like I would definitely need to see the strength of schedule for the Chiefs and the Ravens to determine if they have like a super fucking easy schedule. Then yeah, for sure, I could definitely see them being 1-2. But if they have something similar to us, then yeah. But let's see if I find some more. Baltimore is going to drop off. It's a Greg Roman trait. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire league figured out Lamar Jackson. Would not be surprised whatsoever. I mean, these defensive coordinators get paid bukus of money. And, I mean, there's definitely a strong possibility that he will be figured out. I've taught my 15-year-old that few things are as deplorable as a front runner. Well, Anthony, you are raising your kid right. You are raising your child right. I commend you. Do we trade for Kareem? Ravens won't win their division. That's interesting. And so who do you think will? The Browns? I mean, I would like that would actually be like a super interesting bet to put in on Bovada, or like in Vegas or like whatever, sort of gambling you do. That would be an interesting bet. Just to bet the Ravens don't win the division or the Browns do. Yeah, like, and so the strength of schedule really doesn't bother me that much either. I mean, like I said, really at the end of the day, we just need to dominate our division, which, based off of talent-wise is concerned, I could definitely see it going down. So Lamar Jackson needs to learn to be a better passer to achieve his potential. Yeah, he really does. I'm like really interested to see whether or not that he can make that move. Hey Tony, I mean, you okay with those sniffles, bro? Oh shit. Don't you put that evil on me, bro. The coronavirus doesn't have sniffles. Oh, okay. You were making another reference. Nah, dude. Nah, man. This pollen's just fucking me up. Saw a video about Milano being a minimalist. Dude, that's interesting. If you follow me on Twitter, can you send that to me? I'm like actually really interested to see. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like this pollen just completely destroying me. It was like a beautiful day today. It was like 77, 78 degrees. So I spent a little bit of time outside. Social distancing, of course. Seems Buffalo always has a high strength of schedule. I mean, yeah. It definitely didn't help, 4 or 5 years ago when our team really wasn't that good. I mean, really, whatever team we ended up playing that was in the NFL would be considered a hard schedule. So, something interesting. Let's chill with the Cam talk, G. Oh, man. Who's talking about Cam? I thought we got past that. Montana. Okay, John. Yeah, man. Like the other day, I was like stuffy as shit, and like I was getting paranoid about like this whole coronavirus shit. So I like drove to the store and was just like panicking, looking for a thermometer to like check my, sort of to check my shit. And I end up taking my temperature like perfect 98.6, and then I walk back to my car and like it's like covered in like layers of fucking pollen. So I went out and I wasted like $30 on like some high-end thermometer to see if I like had a fever or I was like running sick, and it was all the pollen. It was insane. Thoughts on a McCoy reunion? Nah. I mean, would be nice, but first off, say that he does go anywhere, say that he wants to go anywhere, then he's going to want to go back to Philly. But no, not really. I went to the store and a girl smiled at me, gave me a look, but I didn't go for it because of Corona. She must have not been that hot then, dude. We'll look for. Yeah. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Dead as Chicago Cubs Ivy on his TV stand. I do. As a matter of fact, I do. All right, so now we're getting into this conversation right now. I figured that I might as well start asking you guys questions, particularly. So we all understand, right, that the draft is coming up right now. Now let's assume that they're not going to be trading back up into the first. I am curious to see who is the guy that you would absolutely be ecstatic about, say that we picked them up on day 2 of the draft. Really want to hear it. And while y'all are answering, this is a great question by Denver. Dan, who is going to have a bigger impact on the Bills as a team unit this year, Singletary or Oliver? That is interesting. That is very, very, very interesting. It's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. I think that Oliver is going to be the guy that's going to come out and have a breakout season, but so is Devin Singletary. I mean, those two rookies are just about to completely go insane this year, and I can't wait. But say that I had to pick one of them, I'm thinking of Ed Oliver, especially since everyone was so upset that we couldn't match the contract that the Arizona Cardinals gave Jordan Phillips. I mean, one thing I always try to consistently remind people was the fact, like, bro, like, we have Ed Oliver. Like, we have Ed Oliver, dude. Like, let's chill. Let's relax. I have a feeling that he's about to have a Pro Bowl season next year. And Devin Singletary might even be doing that as well. It's funny because I'm actually about to be on a podcast tomorrow at 11:30. I'm not sure if it's being aired tomorrow or maybe it's Sunday. The guy's name is Fantasy Football Counselor or something like that. And like, we're actually talking about Devin Singletary. He wants me to talk about fantasy impacts and stuff for next year. So I will certainly let you guys know once that comes out for any of you that play fantasy football. Didn't Ed have 9.5 sacks this season? Is Mario still here? Hey, Mario, you want to fact check that for me? I feel like that's high. What are your thoughts on Boris Johnson being tested positive for COVID-19? I really don't talk about politics and current events on this channel, to be honest with you. I mean, it sucks. I hope that he stays healthy. I think that they shouldn't be wasting tests on professional athletes and celebrities. I think that they should be focusing it more on the people that actually need it. But it sucks. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine though. Realistically, Bryce Hall, Claypool, Stefon Diggs, Jonathan Taylor, and if somehow Swift falls to us, then definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love Swift. Unfortunately, I don't see him going. Don't see him going anywhere after the late firsts. He's going to be a boss. Claypool would be interesting. That would be that big body receiver that we're looking for, and have 4 pretty studly ass receivers on the team. With a Beasley, Brown, Diggs, and then a Claypool. That would be absolutely interesting. Bryce Hall would be super cool too. I'd be fine with that. Yeah, Mario, thank you. 5. Yeah, I thought that 9.5 was a little too high, but I mean, I could definitely see Ed Oliver doubling those numbers next year, especially since he finally has that rhythm. So something to consider. A baby Aaron Donald. Yeah, I agree. Jordan Phillips had 9.5 and Ed Oliver had 5. Yep. What do you think our record will be? 12-4. I'm thinking of 12-4 or 11-5. I really am. I think that we're only gonna have. I think we're only gonna have one loss in division. I'm not sure to who. Say that we play like a division game where we've already clinched the playoff spot, then maybe that might be where it is. But I can really see us having a disgusting division record. So, yeah, I'd say 12-4, 11-5, and like I said, a second or third seed. Lots of other free agents left. Yeah, there are. There really are. Hashtag sports is going at 9-7. It is. It is. But it's funny because you and Paul were talking about the other day that we could realistically still win the division at 9-7 and still be a couple of games ahead. Mario with the hot take. Oh, dude, he's got plenty of them. Yo, by the way, say that you don't follow hashtag sports. Follow them. I'm sure that you do, though. But say that you don't. They definitely know what they're talking about. And they're basically like the PG-13 version of me. And who know a lot more about football than me, too. The Bills' defense will be more brutal. Yeah. It will. It will. Like, basically, like, the entire concern was our D-line because we saw big names like Lawson and Phillips walking away. But, I mean, like I said, I mean, Mario Addison, I mean, he's going to be a stud this year. I mean, like, I'm willing to put down a considerable amount of coin that he's going to be a surprise. I mean, you can't take away the fact that, I mean, like, you can't take away the fact that, like, he has, like, 9.5 plus sacks for the past 4 years. Huge upgrade from Shaq Lawson, who just got paid by Miami, by the way. And then Ed Oliver, like I said, I think that he's going to be able to step into the shoes of sort of Jordan Phillips and just absolutely go off. We have Harrison Phillips coming back. I'm not too afraid of and so I really don't hate Trent Murphy. I really don't hate him. I mean, like, especially toward the end of the year, he started playing pretty well. Same with Starr. I know a lot of people hate Starr, but I mean, he's still good. And I mean, our secondary, I mean, come on, dude. Like, I mean, our secondary is just absolutely disgusting. I'm really hoping that fucking Josh Gordon has like a bounce back year. I mean, maybe he wants to come up and just like shove it in all of his doubters' face and sort of go out there and just dominate. Don't be surprised, dude. Like, he thrived. Gordon thrived in McDermott's system in Carolina that year. But the second that he went to Washington, which is a complete clusterfuck of an organization, it was just done. Norman. Sorry, dude. It's the BL. Not Gordon. He's still suspended for smoking pot. But Josh Norman, dude, he's gonna be a stud, especially with our especially with our defensive line, especially if McDermott continues to put pressure on the quarterback as a leading priority. That's where he absolutely thrived. Yo, Mario, grab one, my G. Yeah, say with Ed Oliver, Harrison Phillips, super interesting there. I know, Jeff. I said Gordon. Give me a break. Been drinking some booze, and this one had like a 9% alcohol content, so give me a break. By the way, did y'all enter my giveaway for the tickets? Washington made Norman play man-to-man, not his strength. He fits McDee's scheme like a glove. Yeah, for sure, man. Like him, like Levi Wallace, they're like predominantly zone corners. We just need to be able to find someone that could play a little man. So that's why I'm thinking that we'll be able to. That's why I think that we'll be able to make that happen. Mr. Happy Sack, you can enter you can also enter the contest through Instagram. I've been making that exception. So say that you have a Twitter or an Instagram, just DM me, and then you can enter the contest for Free tickets to the home opener, my G. I'm 13 and I know my football. Jeff, 13. I didn't know that, dude. Welcome to the Don Mafia. I appreciate that. Do you think we need to replace Dable, or should we replace him after we see how he does after having Diggs as a top 10 receiver? I mean, I think that really replacing an offensive coordinator before 2020 right now would be a mistake. I mean, say that Dable like really can't pull it out of his ass in 2020 with like the weapons that he gave Josh this season, then there needs to be conversations. Then there needs to be conversations to have like who's the issue here? Is it Dable? Is it uh so is it Josh Allen? So I mean, like really our offense, like say like God forbid, right? God forbid that we go out there and we see the same old shit, like lack of production on offense, then there's clearly an issue with one of the two. But I am optimistic in thinking that Dable is going to excel this year, and we'll go from there. Y'all know that I'm like a super optimistic guy when it comes to the Bills, but this year I finally have a reason to be. What happens to Allen and to us as a team if Allen shits the bed and has a Trubisky type third year? Don't put that evil on me, man. Don't put that evil on me. I really don't foresee that happening, to be honest with you. I'm like really trying to put my bias aside. I know that everyone always talks about his accuracy and stuff like that, but I mean, as far as his decision making is concerned, minus some pretty big plays, I guess, like that lateral in the playoffs. He took an astronomical step forward in year 2, and just the way that he's built, like him not being able to take that next step in year 3 is just not realistic, like right in my eyes. So I really think that we're going to see a final product Josh Allen in year 3. Nowhere near going to have a Trubisky year, because honestly, like with Mitch Trubisky, he had a pretty shitty second year too, and his first year wasn't even that great. It was just the fact they gave him a shit ton more slack because he was a rookie. So something to consider. Yeah, I really think that's Chris Davis. I think you meant to compare Addison and Phillips, I guess. And so with Addison is like more of a defensive end, where Phillips is more of a is, and so is a D tackle. But yeah, dude, trust me. So I can guarantee you that with Mario Addison and the other D line help that we signed, they're going to have equal seasons, if not better seasons, from 2019, and they're going to have better seasons than both Phillips and Shaq Lawson next year on their new teams, and that is a fact. Do I have a Discord? I do have a Discord, as a matter of fact. It's a premium Discord though. It's through my Patreon. In case you guys ever wanted to support the channel, then you can go onto my Patreon. Links in the description. One of the tiers gives you access to the premium, but what I'm thinking about doing is just giving about like 30 spots away free, because I sort of want to like make the chat room like actually someone interesting to be in. So that's something. So let me know if you want to get in the Discord. Hit me up, and we'll go from there. If Josh can't perform this year or declines, would it be a good option to pick up someone like Cam as a backup on a 1-2 year deal? No. No, because say that you're talking about this year, like this year alone, like no. Like I personally think that say that we were to bring in Cam or James or Winston, then that's just going to ruin Allen. Like that's just going to ruin his confidence and ruin all the progress that he made. I mean, I guess it's like something to speculate in 2021, but I think Josh Allen's going to have a breakout year this year. The Bills will have like 7 Pro Bowlers this year, maybe even more. I just followed a message to you. Awesome. It's pedestrian. Don't buy the shit talk about Allen. If lateral worked, it would have been a highlight of the playoffs. Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. For sure, man. And who was behind him? Knox? And I would have absolutely loved it. How many wins this year, and do we take the East? Chris from Fort Lauderdale. We're going to get about 11 to 12 wins, and yeah, dude, we're going to be division champs. Start pre-ordering your shirts now. Cam going to be at the Chargers? Yeah, it was funny. I did see him practicing with Tyrod Taylor on Instagram today. They had some picture, so that's interesting. You're the best one drinking. Thanks, Juan. Thanks, my dude. And so I honestly think that, yeah. And so it really brings out my personality when I slam a couple before I film. You know what I mean? Pulling for a big year for Josh. Haters gonna hate. Yeah, for sure. Like fucking PFF. I fucking hate PFF. Who's your ideal running back to pick up behind Singletary outside of the draft? Definitely Carlos Hyde or Lamar Miller. In fact, I guarantee you that we'll be getting news that the Bills have picked up one of those two names within the next couple of days. They looked like bad boys. Yeah, for sure. What did Juan? So the Discord's not interesting with your patrons alone? No, Juan. So I actually just made my Discord. I want to say it was like 3 days ago. And I just put it a part of my Patreon stuff. So it's relatively new. So say that you want to like hop in like a chat room with me and shit during the season, talk some Bills football, send me some fucking articles or something like that, then you know where to go. Be Lightning, yo, yo, yo. Oh, you're taking my intro, man. Probably going to get like 3 Pro Bowlers because fan voting is AIDS and shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, for sure. That's nonsense. They should definitely find a new system for that. Bills built that quarterback room around smart, well-traveled teammates. Neither Cam or Winston fit. No, they really don't. And plus, dude, like, they're not going to want to go to the Bills. Like, because they want to be a starting quarterback. And, like, they want to be a starting quarterback right now. Like, they don't want to, like, go there, sit behind, and hope that something happens to, like, their first stringer and go in. Like, they want to go to a team and start right damn now. And just knowing on both of their egos, like, they're definitely not going to go to a team where the team hasn't expressly told them, like, look, you're suiting up week 1 as our starter. That's just hands down. If you were Brandon Bean, would you sign Jadeveon Clowney? Nah, way too expensive, dude. Way too expensive. Like, we really only have $23 million left in cap space. I mean, we would at least need to give Jadeveon $20 million at least. So, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. But it's definitely something interesting. Mr. Happy Sack, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. I really, really appreciate that. It's really at the end of the day, like this is what makes the Don Mafia is y'all, is basically just going ahead and continuously coming and watching my videos. It really means the fucking world to me. And that's why I continue to make these videos for you. And as far as supporting my channel, all I want you to do is just keep on watching and keep sending me some funny fucking comments. Clowney is overrated and overpriced. Stay away. Yeah, for sure. Like, so I know that one of our needs was an edge rusher, but I'm fine with the Mario Addison. Like I said, I'm fine with like an older Jerry Hughes, Murphy. I mean, worst case scenario, we just make an edge rusher our number 1 priority in the 2021 draft. I'm fine with that. I think what we have will do. As far as big moves are concerned, I think we've made all the big moves that we need to, and now it's just upgrades from here. Been suffering for over 30 years with this team. Dude, I'm 28, and I've been suffering a long time. Like one of my first memories as a kid was my dad screaming at the television, like when the Bills like fucking lost. I think it was like the 3rd Super Bowl they were in at that point. Like, trust me, dude, I've been absolutely heartbroken my entire life. Like, so much hope every single year. And it all changed this past year, dude. Like, I was finally Finally, we came up because, I mean, back when we made the playoffs in 2018, 9-7, the first year under Sean McDermott, I mean, it was all right. Like, we felt like ass backward into it, but last year we earned it. Like, last year we earned a playoff spot, and this year it's about to be even better. And right out of all the free agents we got in the 2020, who's going to make the biggest impact this upcoming season? Probably Mario Addison. I would say Diggs, but we traded for him. He wasn't a free agent. I'd say Mario Addison. I think the pressure rate that we get is going to be absolutely absurd. And do you think Shady could make a return, or did Bean burn that bridge? I really don't see Bean wanting him back. And I mean, I don't necessarily think that Shady wouldn't come back, say that Bean did want him, because at this point, I'm sure that he'll go to whatever team that signs him. I mean, he's just getting older. Like really, like we all know that running backs have very short life expectancies. So, unfortunately, I think would not be surprised if he actually ended up retiring this year. If not, then he might just go back to the Eagles. But I do not see him coming back to the Bills. I was in the military then, in a room full of Cowboys fans for that one. Oh, dude. That sucks, man. That blows. And I bet one of my buddies like $1,000 last year that the Bills would win the division. Damn, dude. We came so close. But now the joke's on him, because now his team sucks. I remember the Patriots, by the way, in case you forgot. But can Bean fix the Sabres now? I mean, we got to ask him, because who the fuck knows what's going on with that organization. But hey, you know what? Look at this, Buffalo. We finally have a team we could be proud of. Yeah, like we have a team that's shitty, but I mean, hey, we at least need to have one shitty organization in our town at all times. As long as the Bills are good, I could give a fuck. Say that the Sabres never win another game. Not coming. I'm just kidding. I probably pissed off some people right there. But I mean, I'm just so happy the Bills are good right now that just the stench that comes from the Sabres organization is just sort of muted for me, or just sort of blocked, if you will. The Bills are coming out of the dark ages and into the light. I know, dude. I'm pumped about it. My dad threw my TV out the door during one of their Super Bowl losses. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Shady is pretty much done. He was great in his day, but that day is past. Yeah, he was. In fact, his last great year was, I think, 2018. I think 2018 was his last pretty solid year. How many primetime games do you think the Bills will have this year? I'm thinking 3. I'm thinking 3 or 4. I could definitely see a Thursday night. I think that might be an Arizona game, to be honest with you, especially since Arizona ended up stacking up their team this year. I could definitely see the Arizona game being a game that gets flexed, or that gets scheduled in a prime time. I just hope it's not in Mexico. I fucking hope it's not in Mexico, because that field is so shitty. 1 year, Aaron Rodgers didn't even play in it, because he was just yeah, I'm not playing in this fucking pothole-infested field. So, that one. And then, yeah, I would love to see a Sunday night. Would love to see a few Sunday nights. I'm not the biggest fan of Monday Night Football, but, I mean, I'd be okay with it. I mean, honestly, I'm just thankful for the fact that we have, I'm just thankful for the fact that now we're actually a team that's going to be considered for primetime games at this point. So 3, not counting playoffs and Super Bowl. Yeah, true. You stud veteran, I guess. We need a stud veteran running back. Any guesses on who they could be? Thinking Hyde or Freeman. I did forget about Devontae Freeman. He's young too. He's not as old as you would think he is. He still got some pep in his step. I'm definitely fine with Carlos Hyde for sure. Definitely. Well done, Mafia. I think that's going to have to do it for Jaboy's second live stream. like I said, this is going to be a regular occurrence. I'm going to be doing this each and every single Friday at 6 p.m. moving forward. I'm going to be doing a live stream 6 o'clock every single Friday, and then I am going to be live streaming the drafts. I'm really not sure what's going to happen with the draft, whether or not that it's just going to be a bunch of Skype calls. But I do plan on live streaming the draft. I'm going to be a guest on a fantasy football podcast tomorrow. I'll let you know when that comes out, so you can listen to it. I'll be talking about Devin Singletary and whether or not that I think that you should pick him up for fantasy next year. So it would be a very interesting thing to listen to. And then, yeah, that's about it, guys. I really hope that you're staying safe out there in your quarantine. You're practicing your social distancing. You have plenty of beer in the fridge. Oh, but yeah, guys, for real, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Let's go Buffalo.